133. Emperor Xiaowen of Northern Wei, reforming customs. After the death of Emperor Taiwu of Northern Wei, political corruption became rampant. The Xianbei aristocracy and powerful merchants exploited the common people, leading to frequent uprisings in the northern regions. When Emperor Xiaowen ascended the throne in 471 AD, he was determined to implement reforms. To curb corruption, Emperor Xiaowen established fixed salaries for officials and severely punished corrupt bureaucrats. He also introduced the equal field system, which distributed uncultivated land to farmers. Each adult male received 40 mu, approximately 6.5 acres, each female 20 mu, and additional land was allocated for mulberry trees to promote silk production. In return, farmers had to pay rent and provide labor services to the government. Upon a farmer's death, the land, except for the mulberry fields, was reclaimed by the state. This system increased agricultural production, stabilized farmers' livelihoods, and boosted government revenue. The decision to move the capital. Emperor Xiaowen was a politically ambitious ruler who believed that in order to strengthen Northern Wei's rule, he needed to adopt Chinese culture and reform outdated customs. One key step was to relocate the capital from Pingcheng, modern-day Datong, Shaanxi, to Luoyang in the Central Plains. Anticipating resistance from his officials, he first proposed a large-scale military campaign against the Southern Qi dynasty. During a court meeting, he announced his intention to invade. Many officials objected, with Prince Renqing, Tuoba Cheng, being the most vocal opponent. The emperor, angered, rebuked him. "This is my empire. Are you trying to obstruct my military plans?" Tuoba Cheng replied firmly, "Though the empire belongs to your majesty, I am a minister of the state. Knowing that war is dangerous, how can I remain silent?" Emperor Xiaowen dismissed the court session but later summoned Tuoba Cheng in private. He explained, "To be honest, I only acted angry to intimidate the officials. My true concern is that Pingcheng is a military stronghold, unsuitable for governance and reform. To modernize our state, we must relocate to Luoyang. This military campaign against Southern Qi is just a pretext to move the entire administration southward. What do you think?" Tuoba Cheng, realizing the emperor's true intention, immediately supported the plan. In 493 AD, Emperor Xiaowen personally led an army of over 300,000 infantry and cavalry from Pingcheng to Luoyang. However, continuous autumn rains for a month turned the roads into a muddy quagmire, making the march difficult. Despite this, the emperor donned armor, rode on horseback, and ordered the army to press forward. Taking advantage of the harsh conditions, some officials again opposed the invasion of Southern Qi. Emperor Xiaowen sternly declared, "We have mobilized such a large force. If we turn back now, we will become a laughingstock for future generations. If we cannot advance southward, then we shall establish our capital here in Luoyang. What do you all think?" Faced with his unwavering stance, the officials remained silent. The emperor then said, "We must make a decision now. Those in favor of relocating the capital, step to the left. Those opposed, step to the right." A nobleman hesitated before saying, "If your majesty agrees to abandon the campaign against Southern Qi, we will support relocating to Luoyang." Though many officials disliked the idea of moving the capital, they reluctantly agreed in exchange for canceling the military campaign. After settling affairs in Luoyang, Emperor Xiaowen sent Prince Renqing, Tuoba Cheng, back to Pingcheng to persuade the Xianbei nobility about the benefits of relocating the capital. Later, the emperor himself traveled to Pingcheng to convene a meeting with aristocrats and elder statesmen. Many nobles strongly opposed the move, citing various concerns. However, Emperor Xiaowen systematically countered every argument, leaving them with no valid objections. Finally, some nobles, unable to argue further, suggested, "Relocating the capital is a major decision. Shouldn't we consult the omens through divination?" The emperor dismissed the idea, saying, "Divination is for uncertain matters. This decision is already clear. What is there to divine? A true ruler treats the world as his home, moving south or north as necessary." Our ancestors moved capitals multiple times. Why shouldn't I do the same? The nobles, unable to refute him, were forced to accept the decision. Thus, Luoyang officially became the new capital. Reforming Xianbei customs. With the relocation complete, Emperor Xiaowen sought to further modernize Northern Wei society by assimilating Xianbei culture with Chinese customs. During a government assembly, he asked his ministers, "Do you think it is better to embrace new customs or cling to old traditions?" Prince Xiangyang, Tuoba Shi, replied, "Of course, it is better to embrace new customs." The emperor then declared, "If that is the case, none of you should resist the upcoming reforms." He then issued several decrees, mandating the use of the Chinese language. Officials and citizens under the age of 30 were required to speak Chinese. Those over 30 who found it difficult could gradually transition. Officials who refused to comply would be demoted or dismissed. Adopting Han-style clothing. Xianbei nobles and officials were ordered to wear traditional Han Chinese attire. Encouraging intermarriage. The government promoted marriages between Xianbei and Han aristocrats to facilitate cultural integration. Changing surnames. The Tuoba royal family adopted the Han Chinese surname Yuan. The emperor himself took the name Yuan Hong, symbolizing his embrace of Han culture. Impact of Emperor Xiaowen's reforms. Emperor Xiaowen's bold and sweeping reforms significantly advanced Northern Wei's political and economic development. More importantly, they accelerated the integration of Xianbei and Han Chinese cultures, shaping the future course of Chinese civilization. His efforts laid the foundation for a more unified and Sinicized empire, ensuring that Northern Wei played a crucial role in Chinese history. 134. The division of Northern Wei. After Emperor Xiaowen of Northern Wei moved the capital to Luoyang, he launched 2 military campaigns against the Southern Qi dynasty, but both failed due to strong resistance from Southern Qi's military and civilians. In 499 AD, Southern Qi launched an offensive against Northern Wei. Despite suffering from illness, Emperor Xiaowen personally led the defense and successfully repelled the enemy. However, shortly after, he succumbed to his illness and passed away. Following his death, his son Emperor Xuanwu, Yuan Ku, ascended the throne, marking the beginning of Northern Wei's decline. When Emperor Xiaoming took power, he was still a child, and his mother, Empress Dowager Hu, ruled as regent. She was an autocratic and extravagant ruler who was deeply devoted to Buddhism, believing that Buddhist practices could absolve her sins. Extravagance and religious projects. Empress Dowager Hu commissioned the grandiose Yongning Temple near the imperial palace. The temple housed gold and white jade Buddha statues, with the tallest reaching 18 feet. Adjacent to the temple stood a 9-story pagoda, 90 zhang, about 300 meters high, adorned with bells that could be heard 10 miles away when the wind blew at night. The temple complex also included 1,000 monk quarters lavishly decorated with pearls, silk, and embroidery, making it the most opulent Buddhist temple ever built in China at the time. The rulers of Northern Wei also spent vast resources carving grottos and sculpting Buddhist statues. Before moving the capital to Luoyang, the court had already spent over 30 years carving the Yungang grottos, near modern-day Datong, Shaanxi, creating over 100,000 Buddha statues. From Emperor Xuanwu to Empress Dowager Hu, the court then invested 24 years and over 800,000 laborers to create the Longmen grottos in Luoyang. While these projects demonstrated China's remarkable achievements in sculpture and artistry, they also placed a tremendous burden on the common people. The decadence of the aristocracy. Due to the immense wealth accumulated by Northern Wei over generations, its ruling class lived in excessive luxury. One day, Empress Dowager Hu visited the imperial treasury and was astonished by the vast stockpile of silk fabrics. She devised an idea and ordered that noblemen and officials could take as much silk as they could carry from the treasury, but only using their own strength. The greedy aristocrats scrambled to grab as much as they could, but because they were accustomed to a life of luxury and idleness, they could barely carry the bundles. Minister Li Chong and Prince Yuan Rong of Jiangwu each carried a stack of silk, but after just 2 steps, they collapsed under the weight, falling to the ground in pain and embarrassment. Li Chong injured his waist, and Yuan Rong sprained his leg, leaving both of them groaning on the floor. Seeing this, Empress Dowager Hu ordered her guards to confiscate all the silk they carried, leaving them injured and empty-handed. The sight of 2 high-ranking officials limping out of the palace in disgrace caused uproarious laughter among palace servants and onlookers. With the Empress Dowager indulging in extravagance, the nobility competed to display their wealth. A prime example was Prince Yuan Chen of Hejian, who sought to outdo the legendary wealthy aristocrat Shi Chong of the Western Jin dynasty. Yuan Chen hosted lavish banquets, serving food in crystal goblets and agate bowls. He invited guests to admire his vast treasury filled with gold, silver, and silk. Even his horse troughs were made of pure silver. During one of these gatherings, Yuan Chen boasted to Prince Yuan Rong, "People say Shi Chong was the wealthiest man of his time. I regret not meeting him, but the real pity is that he never got to see me." Yuan Rong, envious of Yuan Chen's wealth, became so depressed that he stayed in bed for 3 days. Rebellion of the 6 garrisons. As the aristocrats indulged in extravagance, they exploited and oppressed the common people even more ruthlessly. The suffering populace finally rose up in rebellion. To defend its northern frontier, Northern Wei had established 6 garrison towns, each manned by soldiers and settlers. In 523 AD, an ethnic Xiongnu leader, Paoyuan Bailing, led the troops in Wei Garrison, modern-day Inner Mongolia, and killing their commander and launching an uprising. The other 5 garrisons quickly joined the rebellion, and soon massive anti-government uprisings erupted throughout Northern Wei. The rebellion was eventually crushed with the help of Rouran tribes, with whom the Northern Wei court had allied. To prevent further uprisings, the government forcibly relocated over 200,000 defeated rebels and their families to Jizhou, Dingzhou, and Yingzhou, all in modern-day Hebei. However, these displaced soldiers refused to accept subjugation, leading to new uprisings in Jizhou. One of the most powerful rebel leaders was Gao Rong, a Xianbei general, who gathered a formidable force and attacked Yingzhou. In response, the Northern Wei government appointed Prince Yuan Rong as Grand Marshal and Prince Yuan Shen as Grand Governor to suppress the rebellion. However, these noblemen were only skilled in luxury, not in warfare. At Boi, modern Hebei province, Gao Rong's cavalry launched a surprise attack on Yuan Rong's camp. Yuan Rong was caught completely unprepared and was killed. Upon hearing of his death, Yuan Shen retreated to Dingzhou, but he too was eventually captured by Gao Rong's forces. With various rebel forces uniting under Gao Rong's command, his army swelled to nearly 1 million men, preparing to march on Luoyang. The rise of Erzhurong and the fall of Northern Wei. At this time, a Xianbei tribal chief, Erzhurong, commanded 8,000 elite cavalrymen in Shorong, modern Shaanxi province. Unlike other Xianbei leaders, Erzhurong sided with the Northern Wei court and sought to crush the rebellion. Seeing an opportunity, Emperor Xiaoming of Northern Wei enlisted Erzhurong's forces to fight Gao Rong. Underestimating Erzhurong's small army, Gao Rong scattered his troops across a vast battlefield in an attempt to encircle and destroy Erzhu's forces. However, Erzhu ambushed Gao Rong's men from a valley, launching a devastating cavalry charge that shattered the rebel army. Gao Rong was captured and executed, ending the rebellion. However, Northern Wei itself soon fell into chaos. Erzhurong, Empress Dowager Hu, and Emperor Xiaoming all became embroiled in a bloody power struggle, leading to assassinations and betrayals. Eventually, real power fell into the hands of 2 rival generals, Gao Huan, Yuan Tai. In 534 AD, Emperor Xiaowu fled to Chang'an, seeking refuge with Yuan Tai. The following year, Yuan Tai killed Emperor Xiaowu and installed a puppet ruler, Emperor Wan, establishing the Western Wei dynasty. Meanwhile, Gao Huan established Eastern Wei, installing Emperor Xiaojing and moving the capital to Yeqing. From that point on, Northern Wei was officially split into 2 rival states. Western Wei, based in Chang'an. Eastern Wei, based in Yeqing. This division marked the end of Northern Wei as a unified empire and set the stage for continued strife in China's history.